A successful ambush by Ukrainian Special Forces, BCU-GUR operatives infiltrated the Tendrovskaya Spit and set up a minefield, which ended up trapping a Vityaz multi-purpose tractor. The Russians used it to transport personnel and weapons to enemy positions. A logistics hub belonging to one of the Russian brigades in the Kursk region was also not left untouched. Special Operations Forces struck a storage base for material, ammunition depots, as well as a concealed location where the occupiers' weapons and military equipment were kept. Meanwhile, the situation remains difficult in the Kupyansk direction.
The center of Kupyansk. This is Russia. Such a peaceful population in this country.
It is reported that Russian troops are using pipes to move personnel in Kupyansk.
They gave us work clothes and explained how to be in the pipe, what to do, gave us pyramids and 1.5 liters of water each. And then they led us to the pipe one by one. A cart, a scooter, electric. A cart was tied to it like they put us in and showed us how.
But Ukrainian forces are successfully blowing up and damaging the pipes as well as capturing Russian soldiers.
They infiltrated and entrenched themselves. They reported to their command from a hut saying, "That's it, we've secured it." But what exactly is it?
What is the situation with the occupiers' advance in the Kupyansk direction?
Their goal is Kupyansk-Uzlovoy, to the south of Kupyansk. Right now, from the specific locations and areas where the intense fighting is currently happening, where the Russian forces have recently appeared and established their presence, it is approximately 7 to 8 kilometers to the crucial railway line, a significant strategic distance. That's quite far.
Also, over the past day, specifically on September 18th, there were 172 recorded combat clashes, 60 of which took place in the Pokrovsk direction.
Regardless of precisely how the upcoming autumn campaign or a new comprehensive strategic offensive operation is meticulously replanned and executed there, the absolutely key and paramount focus will undoubtedly remain squarely on the primary direction in the east, and most likely the principal axes of attack will consistently stay precisely the same. This includes the capture of the Kupyansk-Myrnorod agglomeration, the capture of the Kostyantinivka-Druzhkivka-Kramatorsk agglomeration, and the capture of Sloviansk from the north.
And as for the Pokrovsk direction, what are the Russians trying to achieve there?
They are waiting to see what will happen in the north. Depending on what happens in the northern part of the Pokrovsk-Myrnorod agglomeration, that's how they will act. If they manage to encircle Pokrovsk from the north, it will create a pocket, and then they will try to squeeze it with a blockade, attempting to organize the encirclement of our forces. If they fail, they will advance from the front, that is, from the southern front near Sinelnikove, from that direction.
According to the BBC, it turns out that the Russian army's offensive on Kupyansk is being commanded by former Ukrainian Armed Forces officer, Lieutenant General Serhiy Storozhenko, who betrayed his oath back in 2014, even though he used to say that the oath was above all else.
They came to me personally, how we gathered together. They suggested switching to the government side. There were answers, but...
Now, Russian shaheds will have to travel even less distance to cross the Ukrainian border. It is reported that Russia has built a new launch site for drones in the Bryansk region, just 35 kilometers from the Ukrainian border.
75 kilometers from the front line or 35 kilometers from the front line. Those 40 kilometers don't really make a big difference, but I wouldn't say it's nothing. Maybe just a bit farther, maybe a bit more room to maneuver. And this is just a launch site for Shaheds, it's not the place where they're stored. When there's a mass launch of Shaheds, the number increases by an order of magnitude, so you need to use 10 times more launch areas.
Meanwhile, in Lithuania, a fragment of a Russian Geran drone was found. It is assumed that the drone fragment was washed ashore from the Baltic Sea.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
US President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping held their first phone conversation in 3 months. The day before, Trump refused to approve more than $400 million in military aid to Taiwan because he plans to make a deal with China.
China needs us. And as you know, I have a very good relationship with President Xi, but China needs us much more than we need them.
But as we can clearly see now, yes indeed. Donald Trump's main and most significant priority is to conclude a comprehensive trade deal, a substantial trade agreement with China. For this, Trump apparently is ready to do anything.
Trump also stated that if Europe acted decisively against China, it might have forced Russia to stop the war in Ukraine.
If Europe had done something regarding China, I think it probably could have made China stop the war in Ukraine. I could have done something too. But they can't buy oil from Russia and expect me to take action against China because it's buying oil from Russia.
The President of the United States, Trump, is willing to make concessions in relationships with his partners in order to build relationships with his opponents. I think this will not strengthen the position of the United States of America in the region, nor will it enhance, let's say, the understanding of partnership as a strong support from the United States.
Putin is trying to manipulate Trump into normalizing bilateral relations between the US and Russia without ending the war in Ukraine.
We have good proposals for working with US companies in Alaska. There are resources there, and we have the technology for extraction and gas liquefaction, much more highly efficient and advanced technologies, in fact, than those currently possessed by some of our American partners. And they absolutely know this, and at the level of economic actors, the various companies are indeed ready to fully cooperate.
Since Trump only threatens with sanctions and influence but does nothing regarding the Russian Federation except applauding Putin and rolling out the red carpet for him in Alaska, then tell me what should motivate Russia to abandon its plans? Nothing.
Next week at the General Assembly in New York, President Zelensky may meet with his Polish counterpart, King Naroki. This will be the first meeting between the two leaders after the elections and all of Naroki's anti-Ukrainian statements.
It is in Poland's interest to provide fundamental military support to Ukraine in this conflict, because Putin and the Russian Federation are a threat to the entire modern world. Russia is, without a doubt, the criminal, and Ukraine is the victim.
Well, now Putin has sobered them up, and we'll see how much his rhetoric changes. We simply need to move away from the populist rhetoric, which unfortunately is currently present in Poland, and shift to a constructive one, while Ukraine has always extended a helping hand to the Poles.
The IAEA has approved a resolution demanding that Russia return the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant to Ukrainian control.
I hope that very soon the day will come when the plant will resume normal operations and return to its rightful owners and operators. And we will simply visit it periodically as we did before.
Will Russia withdraw based on this resolution? There have already been more than enough such documents. No, it will not withdraw its troops from the NPP. A number of Western countries have expressed serious concern about this issue. 464 countries voted decisively in favor of this resolution.
The head of Chechnya, Dirov, is dying. His pancreatic necrosis is progressing, and he has been using a urine bag for several months now, while his social media posts feature archival footage. At the same time, in a text interview with Aria Novosti, he allegedly stated that he is completely healthy.
Whenever someone tells me that my health isn't perfect, I immediately do 50 push-ups.
Slowly but surely, karma will catch up with all the war criminals who shamelessly made billions from blood and the innocent, the innocent, the innocent.